The goods and services tax collection was above 1 trillion rupee mark for the 11th month running in May, offering a big reprieve to the central government, which is in a tight spot due to external and internal headwinds. Rolled out on 1st July 2017, GST had subsumed 17 central and state levies. States now have indirect tax autonomy on excise revenues, which come from fuel and liquor, and on stamp duties. And 5 years on, the GST regime is still evolving. The 47th GST Council meeting was held in Chandigarh, and it ended on Wednesday afternoon with Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman addressing the media. Giving a leg up to the unorganized sector, the Council agreed to waive mandatory registration for small online sellers. From 1st January 2023, online sellers with an annual turnover of 40 lakh rupees or 20 lakh rupees in case of small and select states will be exempt from mandatory registration under GST. The move is expected to benefit 120,000 small traders. Currently, small offline sellers are exempted from compulsory registration. While reports suggested that there could be a 28% GST levy on online gaming, casinos, and horse racing, treating them on par with gambling, the Council decided to further deliberate on the tax rate and the method of valuation of taxation on such services. On the rationalization of tax rates, the Council has not taken up the issue, and a ministerial panel has been given 3 months' time to submit its report. Let us now move on to the crucial subject of compensation to states. At the time of implementation of GST, the centre had decided to compensate the states for any loss of revenue from the new tax for 5 years. The period ends on 30th June. Several states, mostly ruled by the opposition, have been demanding extension of GST compensation, citing 2 years of pandemic. However, the GST Council did not take any call on it. The proposal will likely be taken up again in the next meeting.
Today's GST Council decision will have repercussions on the state governments on 3 aspects. One, it will have its impact on the overall, in the revenue projection that they're going to make for the next year. In that sense, the uncertainty in terms of what revenue that the state governments are going to have is certainly will have its repercussions on the expenditures as well. So the uncertainty on both revenues and the expenditures will certainly will have its impact on the overall fiscal position. And second, it might hamper the recovery process that is happening in many of the states. So that's again is going to have a negative impact on the overall GSDP growth. And the third is, it might lead to deterioration of quality of public expenditure at the state governments. In the absence of GST compensation, the states may be forced, especially some of the states which are going for the elections, they may be forced to shift the expenditure from the capital to the revenue side, so that it will have its repercussions on overall GSDP growth in those states.
Meanwhile, the Council has also accepted the recommendation by the group of ministers on correcting the inverted duty structure. For instance, LED lamps, ink, knives, blades, power-driven pumps, and dairy machinery will attract 18% GST, higher than the existing 12%. Further, the GST rate on solar water heaters and finished leather was hiked from 5% to 12%. The GST Council has proposed to withdraw tax exemptions for few items, along with rate changes for few others. Exemptions have also been removed on a variety of services, including hotels with a rent below 1,000 rupees a day, hospital room rents, excluding ICUs, above 5,000 rupees per day, and services provided by RBI, IRDAI, and SEBI. The Council also wants all post office services other than postcards and inland letters, book post and envelopes weighing less than 10 grams to be taxed. However, goods that are unpacked and unlabeled are still exempt from GST. The Council has also reduced GST on some goods and services. The Council gave relief to the transport sector as it slashed rates on transport by ropeways and renting of truck goods carriage where cost of fuel is included. On whether to bring movement of gold and precious stones under the e-way bill regime, the council has allowed states to decide on the threshold above which e-way bill can be generated. The ministerial panel has recommended a threshold of 2 lakh rupees and above. The GST Council has also decided to set up a ministerial panel to address various concerns raised by the states on the GST Appellate Tribunal.
One is the Msme Relief that is now there under the GST law. So to recap for the benefit of all of you, for small sellers who are under the composition scheme or below the 40 lakh threshold, as things stand, they cannot go online without giving up that composition status or that exemption status. But going forward, this disparity is addressed and the MSME sector will have the access to the powerful e-commerce platform going forward and the e-commerce industry. Second is the tax tribunal. It's 5 years. There is no appellate tribunal in place. Industry is worried because as we progress into the audits and assessments, there are orders that need to be appealed, but the forum is not yet constituted. There has been some legal challenges vis-a-vis the earlier construct, and the council seems to have deliberated certain suggestions and formed a group that's going to be focusing on this. And I expect in the next few months, we'll finally see the tribunal, which will enable appeals to be going in a timely manner. The third point that stood out well is an ask from industry to address an inverted duty structure. So if your product is a 12% rate product and your inputs are 18, there was always a refund provision. However, that refund provision was not available if your inputs was a service. So to address that anomaly, a decision has been taken to expand and allow refund for inverted duty, including on input services.
If indeed some states find their recovery from the pandemic hampered, it begs the question, will that bode well for the overall economy?
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
सब अच्छी दिख रही हैं यार, कौन सी खरीदूं?
ये तो वही बात हुई, 4000 शेयर्स लिस्टेड है, कौन सा लूं?
वो तो सबसे आसान है।
तुझे 5 पैसा नहीं पता?
अब तो सबको पता है। 5 पैसा पर है 4000 स्टॉक्स की रिसर्च, टेक्निकल टूल्स और इन्वेस्टमेंट आइडियाज। डाउनलोड 5 पैसा नाउ।
अब तो सबको पता है, investing made easy and rewarding with 5 paisa. Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.